I was waiting for my sister at school. I like to be there early because there's not a lot of parking spaces. So I get there early, catch a nice parking space, and I see this guy, a couple of them, those ones, backpack, tie, short sleeve shirt. You know what it is. You know what they're there to do. They're there to, I don't know, tell Christianity to Christians. That's kind of what they're all about. But anyways, I give the guy time. He wants to talk to me. I'm like, cool, let's talk about it. I like talking about the Bible. I like talking about God. Let's do it. And so clearly he's pitching now. And then he's like, it's important to know the word of God and all that. It's like, yeah, absolutely. You need to equip yourself with knowledge of the Bible, so that people don't use the word of God to seduce you or to deceive you. And he gets nervous just by me saying that. He's like, oh my word, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then he says to me, yes, yes, absolutely. There's so many people out there trying to deceive you, trying to, deliver incorrect doctrines. It's like, absolutely, yeah. I protect myself against these, types of people just by the knowledge of the Bible. That's why I read the Bible every day. It's like, oh, that's so amazing. You read the Bible every day. I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. It is. And then he was like, well, that's why I wanted to show you this. And then he showed me, it's called the Book of Mormon. And I was like, okay, I've heard about it, but I don't know anything about it. Then I was like, please explain it to me. I thought he was gonna give me the book. I was like, yeah, you can give it to me. I'll read it. He's like, no, no, this is my last one. I can't give it to you. I was like, okay, well, tell me what's it all about. And he says, well, the book is, a continuation of the gospel. I was like, a continuation, huh? Okay. And then he said, yes, basically, after Jesus ascended into heaven, he appeared in America. And I was like, what? Anyway, dude, let's start the show. Welcome to another show, everybody. We're just here to have fun and games and to mess around and to be silly and to, I don't know, I'm not one to make fun of people's religions. I'm not one to make fun. I believe that if your belief allows you to have faith, to have love for everybody, and to just be good to yourself and others, believe what you want, man. But I mean, some stuff is a little far fetched. You know what I mean? And I guess you could say the same thing about what I believe. You could say that the resurrection of the dead is a bit far fetched, but I don't believe so. I believe it's possible. I believe it happened, and that's Jesus. But I don't think that this happened where where Jesus, after he ascended into heaven, appeared in America. Ah, come on, man, you lost me. So I did a bit of research because I don't wanna just dismiss whatever people believe. I think it's worth investigating, and I believe that there's a bit of truth in everything, right? So there's a lot of holes in the story, first of all, because according to the Book of Mormon, which I really want to read, just to give it the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I'm already not keen on. I'm not ready to buy into whatever that's talking about, and I'm a pretty open-minded person, but come on, man, don't be silly. Anyways, so it says there that there's these ancient cultures, ancient peoples, ancient societies in America, during the time that, Jesus was walking the earth. And when he died, after he ascended into heaven, that's where he went, and it was the book is basically an account of that happening, and what Jesus teaches at that point. My problem is that when it comes to the Bible, the archaeological writings, the books that the Bible has been, that have been put together to make the Bible, come from accounts that come from the time that Jesus was around, So there's some credence to that. But this book is not over 2,000 years old, you know what I mean? As far as people can tell, based on real research, this book popped up somewhere in the 1800s or in the 1700s. So there's already red flag, bruh. But okay, anyways, I don't want to talk about that too much. Just now they come knock on my door and ask me if I believe. You know. But anyways, welcome to the show. I yeah, I don't know if I should keep explaining the show, but if you're new here, man, feel free. Welcome. Strap yourself in. It's always a wild ride. I just go wherever my mind takes me, to be honest, and it's quite a freeing experience. I don't want to let consistency and form and all these considerations to limit where my thinking goes. This also helps me. It's a bit of an exercise for me to be able to explore explore what's going on in my head, man, because sometimes you don't have the time to do that, and it's always fun to do that. So welcome to the show. And the reason why it's called All Over the Show is because truly it is all over the show. I am someone whose mind just bounces around. It's as if my mind was drinking Red Bull, since birth. It's just bouncing everywhere. But yeah, nonetheless, what's been going on with me, man? I don't know. We're getting closer and closer. I've been saying this for such a long time, but we are getting closer. And I say we, but I mean me. We are getting closer to finally having a guest on the show. I've decided to have to have guests here in my bedroom, man. At this point, I think a maximum of one guest is gonna be the thing. I think maybe I need to throw this bed away or give it away and get a smaller bed. Then I can have space for more guests. But I'm working on that. I'm still figuring that out. But soon, man, soon. Hopefully not the next episode, but the one after that will maybe have a guest involved, which I can't wait for. Super excited, but nonetheless, we're getting closer to that. And what else? What else is going on in life, man? Nothing much, really. It's just I find myself. It's very interesting. I find myself being confronted on a regular basis, the opportunity to do good, the opportunity to choose to be a good person, where it's like a clear choice. Do I ignore this call, or do I take the call and just give and be good and just so it's very interesting. And I wonder, has this always been the case where this opportunity has presented itself, or have I done something to open that into my life? We don't know how reality works, to be honest. I'm not sure that you attract everything you think about, but I do think that wherever your mind is most of the time, you tend to be able to more easily identify those things. For example, if I'm listening to jazz music a lot and I'm reading jazz music and playing jazz music a lot, it's gonna make me a better jazz musician. And then when I play with other jazz musicians, then I can just activate something in my brain that makes me able to jam with these people. So if I'm setting my mind up to want to be a good person, and that's what I'm trying to do, I don't think it's always easy, but I do believe that that's our mission on earth, is to be a good person. But I wonder sometimes, can you be a good person if you also make jokes about people? Because jokes are lighthearted, man, and I'm not always trying to make jokes that would hurt somebody's feelings. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to be able to do stuff that allows people to have a bit of a laugh, even if it's at my own expense. Like, geez, the amount of short jokes I've told is about myself, is incredible, because I feel like, being short is something that a lot of people, I won't say go through, because it's not as if you're a victim of being short, unless you're under a meter, with the hands. Yeah, then maybe you're a victim of being short. And I heard that there's a few things that people don't like. People who are Let's call them little people, not children. Little people. There's a big difference. Anyways, I'm not laughing at them. It's just I find some stuff funny, and my sense of humor is a bit weird. And I, like I said, I'm not. My intention is never to hurt anybody's feelings, but because that's what a joke is, man. I think we live in this weird society, where instead of having a laugh about something, we're like, oh, that's offensive. You can't say that. And it's like, come on, man. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I understand why people get upset about jokes. I understand that. I don't think that's lost on me. I'm not one of those people who like, it's just a joke. How can you be angry? Like, no, I understand why, you'd get angry. However, I think that you need to realize that if something is just a joke, you need to get over that anger and literally engage, laugh, enjoy the joke, man. Everybody loves the kind of person who has jokes made about them and then they can laugh, So that should give you a clue, right? Is that's a set of good behavior. That's part of the set of things that we call good behavior. So for someone to be gracious, even if it hurts your feelings, dude, laugh, man. That's your best bet. Otherwise, you're gonna get mad. You're like, oh, you're not allowed to make a joke about me. And you know what's crazy? Also, like something that's been happening a lot in modern times, nowadays in our society is people who get offended on behalf of other people, and those people who are being represented for offense, they don't even care, dude. You're getting offended on behalf of someone who doesn't even care. Like, come on, man. What are you doing? We live in a weird time. Ooh, I saw a video this morning, and I was just scrolling through social media a little bit, as people sometimes do, just oh, you know what else I saw? Okay. I'm cutting myself off here. I need to figure myself out. First of all, I just want to say, I saw this video of this child sleeping. This child is sleeping, maybe 2 or 3 years old. Sleeping and doing this. How can you be sleeping? Is that how much you do? Man, we need to stop poisoning the children with this stuff, man. It's clearly not good. It's addictive. The algorithm is looking for ways to keep you engaged on the app because that's how these companies make money, man. It's like, don't allow that. Don't give that so much power, Sorry, I just realized I don't think I took note of the time that I started. Okay. Let's see how much time. 15 minutes. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to calculate that. Anyways, so yeah, that's the one video, and it's quite troubling. It tells me that parents are using technological devices to parent their children instead of parenting their children themselves, right? I've said this before, and I believe it to be true. Boredom is a good thing. You need to let your child be bored. Don't just stick a device in their hand, man. Now, I'm not a parent, and I don't know what it's like, so you can definitely, use that as a defense. But come on, man. Like screen time, give your child maybe 1 hour of screen time a day. I think the research on that is crystal clear. That's kind of like how much time you really can give a child without harming their brains completely. So yeah, 1 hour of screen time a day, man. I think that's good. And then give them things that can stimulate their creativity, right? So what you'd have is you have boredom, and then boredom is the catalyst for creativity. So let's say, for example, instead of buying this child a phone or a tablet, or even if they have a tablet or something, why don't you have a bunch of books? Maybe your child likes to read, Maybe everybody likes to read, but they just never give it a shot because they'd rather be staring at a screen, instead of filling their head with a better vocabulary, a better ability to concentrate, a stronger imagination. That's important. A stronger imagination. Instead of that, you just put the screen where it doesn't involve anything. It's just visually stimulating. Like, That's not good, man. You're not really helping your child's development, I think. So what happens if you, instead of that, you get a couple of books, for the kid, and just like, I have a personal bias, actually, for books, because I love books, man. Books are so cool, you know and man, just like books are each book is a door, a portal into another world, or a portal into somebody's mind, you know and each of those, and sometimes you get a book that's profound enough to be both, you know like when you read like Dostoevsky, or you read what else. Wow, my brain is going blank. Oh, when you read like Orwell or something, like where it's a story, there's a fictional happening taking place, but the fiction is simply the vehicle for this author's philosophy, or this author's way of thinking, or even this author's message, and a lot of those books have the message of be careful, and I love that, because I think we don't hear that often enough. I think there's a lot of encouragement, and I think encouragement is good. However, not enough caution is being provided, and these guys like Aldous Huxley and George Orwell and Fyodor Dostoevsky, and who else? Who else do we got here? I'm thinking, I just want to limit what I'm saying to fiction. Okay, let's just leave it there with those three, right? What they're talking about, the story, is the vehicle for the message, right? And that's powerful. But anyways, so now, if you don't provide the framework for your child to be creative, right? By stimulating their imagination through reading, right? By giving them stuff like Legos and building blocks and all those types of toys, or even like puzzles, man. Like those are the sort of things that stimulate your child's brain. Now you have a child who's not doing well in school, and you're like, why is he not doing well in school? Is my child dumb? It's not possible. My child can't be dumb. Your child isn't dumb. Your child just has an understimulated brain, man. Come on, man. I just think like technology has always been a good thing, but there's always a bad side to it, man. There's always a bad side to it. And I get mad at myself. I get mad at myself when I you know what I do now? Normally it's like if I'm posting a video on Facebook or on TikTok or on Instagram, it's usually those three culprits. Sorry. Oh, the air has been so dusty lately. It's ridiculous. I just feel so sick and anyways, so my nose. So I get so upset with myself because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go into this app. I'm only here to post a video. Don't watch any videos. Don't get stuck in the matrix. Just post the video, And then, but now you see they do this sneaky thing where while it's posting, they're showing you video, like you just can't win, It's posting, you can see that progress bar at the bottom. You're like, okay, cool. But while that's happening, you're like, oh, look, someone's playing the piano. Like, I love these videos. And then you scroll, and then you're like, oh, look, another person playing an instrument. And then you don't even notice that your video posted long time ago. You're just now stuck watching a video. Come on, man. I don't appreciate that. I really don't appreciate that, man. Like, it's oh my word. Oh, sorry. It's ridiculous. Truly, truly ridiculous. But that's technology, man. So I get mad at myself for getting sucked into it, because it's such a time waster. It consumes time, man. And I'm trying to prepare myself for music studies, and there's an audition involved in that, and I need to prepare myself for that audition. And now, instead of practicing the piano, what am I doing? I'm scrolling through social media. No, stop it, bad boy. Like, oh man, it's I can really rant at myself about that, but okay, whatever. Let's just be graceful. Let's just be merciful, to oneself, And forgiving oneself, I think, is an important thing. I think a lot of the times, some of the trauma that we experience is some of the trauma we experience is just being traumatic about, or experiencing trauma about something we personally have done. Sometimes you feel so guilty for a mistake you made a long time ago, something that you said that hurt somebody in a really heavy way, um or something an opinion that you've had that you don't actually mean, but you thought it was something cool to say, and then that affected somebody negatively. You feel so, or even just a way that you behaved, like you had an outburst, an unnecessary outburst in public, and that happened maybe 10 years ago, and you still think of it like, wow, I'm so embarrassed by that. I think a lot of the times we just need to forgive ourselves, man. You've paid for your sins. Forgive yourself. Like that's a tough one. I think that's a big one, and I also think like forgiving others is a big one as well. um you know holding on to something that someone did to you, an offense against you, is really doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve them. They don't even care. They don't even know that you're mad at them. Most of the time they don't even know that they did something wrong towards you, but you feel like, oh, I'm mad about this person did this thing, and I just can't let it go. On the 11th of October in 1973, this person did this thing at 3 minutes past 4, and this is what they said. These are the exact words, and this is how I felt at the time. Like, whoa, dude! Like, forgive and forget, man. Jeez, forgive and forget. Like, who cares if that person, bumped your ice cream out of your hand? Like, my goodness, man, you even know their name? Yeah. Like, who cares if somebody farted in the lift on that day? That's actually a bad one. Oh my word. I've had that happen where you walk into the lift. Like you're waiting on the ground floor, for example, and then the door opens, people come out, you're like, great, I go in, and as soon as that door closes, you smell like, oh my word, somebody dropped a bomb in here. And yeah, on the miraculous days that I can actually smell anything. Most of the time I can't smell. There's something wrong with my nose. I'd love to get that fixed at some point. But okay, anyways, what was I talking about? I get off track, man. I get off track, and this is, again, if you're new to the show, this is kind of what it's all about, like Xavier getting off track, and maybe not finding his way back, but that's okay. I don't care about finding my way back, anyways, man. Let's get lost together, you know. And maybe you're screaming at the phone, you're like, or you're screaming at your screen wherever you watch, where you're like, you said this, you were saying that, you know. But yeah, anyways, what was I totally forgot where I'm at. But anyways, so I think we just, oh yeah, I was talking about forgiveness. I think we need to, we all can benefit from just being quick to forgive. What would happen in your life if you were slow to anger and quick to forgive? Imagine how much energy you save. We talk about so much, being efficient energy wise in the world and for the environment and stuff. But what about this environment? What about your mind? What about your soul? How polluting is holding on to it for your soul? You stain your soul. And what I love about church and Christianity, a proper Christianity. Jesus in America. That's awesome. Anyways, I don't want to make fun of other people's beliefs, man. But some people's beliefs are, I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, so one cool thing about about Christianity is to be called a Christian. What you have to do is to forgive. To say that you love God. And it says that in the Bible. I'm not sure what is it in Corinthians or something. To say that you love God, but to hate your neighbor makes you a liar. Makes you a liar. Like, whoa, what an accusation. But it makes sense, right? Because even Christ said, what you've done to the least of me, you have done to me. And what that means is that God or Christ is inside every human being. And when you do something bad to somebody, when they cause an offense and you refuse to forgive them, you are doing that to God. Like, what if Jesus visits the earth all the time? What if Jesus was in that person that's asking for money by the robot, and you're like, get away from me, Or you just choose to, you hold the steering wheel, here's a person by the window, and you're like, don't look. What if that's Jesus? What if that's Jesus saying, hey man, do some good? I always think about this stuff because it's possible. Especially with those words, it's like a clue where he says, what you've done to the least of me, you've done to me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was thirsty, you gave me water. When I was hungry, you gave me food. Like, whoa, that was you, Jesus? And I can't help but wonder, like, one day when you're sitting in front of the judgment seat, and it's like, will that be said to you? That I was hungry, but you decided to, swear at me. It's like, whoa, Jesus, that was you. I'm so sorry. Then it's too late, buddy. But I also think that God is merciful and loving. He wants all of us to be saved. It actually says that in Scripture as well. But anyways, so forgiveness, man. That's one central tenet of being a Christian is forgiving, But so often people hold grudges. You're like, oh, this person did this thing to me and I will never let it go. Like, come on, man. Like, it's, you literally like remind yourself of somebody's behavior that you haven't spoke to in 10 years, or 7 years you haven't spoken to this person. Yeah, this person must did this thing that time. Come on, man. Life has progressed. Things have changed. So much has happened, Oh, yeah, I wanted to tell you about the video that I saw. What a trip. I think we're about half an hour in. Are we half an hour in? Is that right? Yeah. Oh, look at that. We just hit the 30-minute mark. Maybe for you, we're about to hit the 30-minute mark because I will have cut some things, just change some things. But who knows? Who knows, right? Anything is possible. Anyways, the video I saw. So this is the first time that I actually asked myself, is this real? And I actually haven't verified it yet. I wanted to, but I forgot. That's just how life goes. But it was a video of Theo Von. I'm a huge fan of Theo Von. He's a stand-up comedian and a podcaster. His podcast is one of my favorite podcasts. His podcast inspired a lot of what I do here, because he does a lot of like solo episodes. He does have guests now and then, but he started the whole thing by doing it by himself. Just speaking into the abyss, and that's kind of what I'm doing. From my perspective, that's kind of what I'm doing. But I know I'm talking to you that are cool enough to watch and to listen. I appreciate you. I really do. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. My goodness. But anyways, so I watched this video of Theo Von interviewing Donald Trump. Okay? But it was a different set. It wasn't the same set that's on Theo Von's podcast. And Trump was saying some ridiculous things, which he says sometimes. But I was like, is this real? Is this like, am I watching something real? Because there's a lot of crazy stuff that's out there now. There's people that do deep fakes. Where you take somebody's likeness and their voice, and you make them say whatever you want, and it looks like that person. Like I've seen some crazy videos where it's like, I know, okay, that's not real. But now you have to question it. Like, is that real? Because Theo Vaughn posted it, but it could just be that he found this clip that's made with AI and just be like, wow, guys, check this out, you know? I don't like this. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to feel as though I need to question reality, where I need to question if this is real, you know? And that maybe, it takes me down a whole other rabbit hole, because it's like if you've watched The Matrix, right, then you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't watched The Matrix, what are you doing with your life? Go watch The Matrix. Watch the 3. I didn't watch that 4th one. I don't know. I didn't get to that point. But yeah, because new movies nowadays suck, man. Oh my word. All movies, like, okay, some movies are cool, you know, but movies lately for the last few years, you know, it's just nonsense, absolute trash, you know. And that's really why I don't really watch movies that much. I should tell you about a movie I watched this past weekend, actually. But anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, so yeah, like it makes you question reality to the point where I'm like, could this be a simulation? Am I living in a simulation? Is this real? You know? Because you know what also like makes me think like that. Maybe I'm just being crazy. You know, that happens sometimes. But I was thinking about this a lot. Like, when you dream, the way that things look, the way that things are in your dreams, doesn't look much different from these AI generated images. You know, where it's like, you know, it's not quite real, but it passes for reality, because you know, okay, I'm dreaming. Or you look at an AI image, like, okay, that's obviously AI. You know, there's no way McDonald's can actually be made of burgers. You know, because you see crazy stuff like that. But it's cool, it's interesting, it's fun. But then they try and make it like hyper realistic. You're like, is that real? Isn't that a photo? That's not a photo, you know? Whew. It's getting insane. It's getting quite intense. But anyways, so it's like, if I'm like, okay, when I dream, when I sleep, then that's how it looks. It looks like it's AI generated. But now AI generated images are getting so advanced, you know, videos, where it's like, that's not a video. Like, what are you saying? You know, like I heard that Tyler Perry shut down the construction of a brand new state-of-the-art $800 million studio for filming, right? Film studio. He halted production, or halted construction rather, of such a place, after he saw OpenAI's Sora video. You can go check there on OpenAI's YouTube channel, right? There's videos, like sample videos made from Sora, and Sora is their video generating AI, right? And you can see like a dog running through a field and splashing in water. And you're like, that's AI generated, because it looks so real. There's no clue. There's no clue, dude, to say that this is AI generated, you know? And that's what's scary. So if my dreams are the whack version of AI generated images and videos, could reality then be AI generated as well? That's a trip, dude. That is a trip. Like, I trip myself up about these things, man. You know, I not wake up, but I lay, you know, at night, and just, I'm awake and I'm like, World War III, simulation, AI, like, where are we? You know, is any of this real? Is any of this real? And that just trips me up sometimes, man. You know, what is reality? You know, there's just too much to consider. Are we, you know, did the aliens come without us knowing? Have they taken over our planet and harnessed all the resources, you know, from it, and plugged us into machines so that we don't know that happened? You know, are you the only a real thing? Am I the only real thing? I ask myself such things, man, and it keeps me up at night. Sometimes I wish I didn't have this brain that takes such things seriously, But it does, man. It keeps me up, like I said, and it's terrifying sometimes to even consider that might be, a potential reality. Like, I don't want that. It's a lot to think about, man. And it, and part of what makes it like kind of, there's a lot of like coincidences that's be like, hey man, that's kind of how a simulation, that's kind of a clue as to this could be a simulation, where you see a video and maybe it's fake. I don't know what's real and what's fake anymore, honestly. I don't know. I don't know. Let me just leave it there. I don't know. But I saw this video and it's just people driving in traffic and then boom, somebody just appears in the road. It's raining and here's this person in the road. Then they swerve out of the way of that person and then they look back in the rearview mirror and the camera goes to the back and that person was never there. But you could clearly see that there was a person in the road, So what is it then? What is it? And then it's also like, the reason why we all need these devices. They've made these devices, these phones and tablets and stuff so crucial to our lives that you cannot imagine leaving your home without one, And Joe Rogan made this cool joke in his latest special, which was fantastic. I have to say, to watch a master of comedy do his thing is incredible. It's inspiring and above all funny. That's the point of comedy, is to be funny. You don't say stuff you mean. You just say stuff to be funny. And I love that, to make people laugh, because what you're doing is you're bringing joy into people's lives. It's now you want to hate on a comedian, dude? Man. He's a joker. He doesn't take things seriously. He's just joking, But anyways, I'm not going to, go back to that old point. But where was I going with this? Oh, he has a joke about, he can't imagine leaving his home without his phone. But he's left his children at home alone a lot. Like, like that's funny to me, because it's also like, I've also like, people I care about, I would leave at home, or I'd leave them in a certain place and come back, to find them there and doing whatever. But I'd never leave my phone unattended, or rather, I would never leave my phone at home and then I'm out and about in the world. Like, that's crazy, So, man. So it's like, okay, so now maybe that's part of the simulation, right? Is that we all need to have these devices, because we can be hooked into it and stop us from thinking, stop us from figuring it out that this is a simulation, Because a lot of what happens in the news and in history is like, that. What if that was just written by somebody? What if it's like someone writing a story in the simulation? Like, oh man, like, yeah, it just freaks me out. It gives me a lot of anxiety, and I should stop thinking about that. But anyway, so yeah, that's also what I did this past weekend. I watched Joe Rogan's live special. Not this past weekend. I watched that last week actually. But I just forgot to mention it in the last episode. But it was really cool, man. Like, the last live special I watched was Chris Rock, and that was brilliant. Chris Rock is one of the greats, man. Definitely one of the greatest comedians that have ever walked this earth. And then Joe Rogan, he did a live special, and he said he did it because he was scared to do it. And I love that. I love that, because it's like, definitely do something you're scared of, I think it was Carl Jung who said that which you fear, that is your direction. I think it was, I'm definitely butchering that quote, but I try to live my life that way as well. Is if I'm scared of something, that's probably the thing I need to do. Because once even in Stoicism, there's a maxim that says the obstacle is the way, obstacle is the way. Ego is the enemy. Like, those are things that's like, it's not just a quote, because it has so much meaning. You're like, wow, I'm going to adopt that in my life, and I'm going to use that to take life seriously, to push on with it, to get on with it, like I absolutely love that. And I think that I love that attitude is what I'm really saying. A lot of the times fear stops you from doing something. You're like, oh, I'm scared to talk to that girl. But what if that's the girl you're supposed to be with? What if that's your soulmate? But you're like, I'm scared. I'm not gonna talk to her. I'm shy. I'm shy. Like, no, don't be shy. I shouldn't say that actually. Don't be shy is a dumb thing to say. You should encourage people just to take risks. Like, hey man, you are where you are. If you don't do it, you're still gonna be where you are. If you do it and it goes wrong, you're still gonna be where you are. You've nothing to lose. You've nothing to lose, dude. And I think that's also where, like, encouragement is necessary, right? We encourage so many dumb things, We encourage poor health. We do that. Maybe we do it inadvertently, but we do it. Where if somebody is living a lifestyle that, if they continue with it, will probably kill them, we're like, oh no, you look beautiful, you're perfect. When somebody's clearly having health problems as a result of, their lifestyle, you want to make them feel positive about that? No. And this is why I think shame is a good thing, dude. If you're not doing something you're supposed to do and you get shamed for it and you experience shame, that's going to be the thing that's going to make you act better. That's going to make you that's going to be the thing that makes you love better, Shame. Why don't we shame each other anymore, man? We're like, "Oh, that's okay. I understand." Like, no, let's not understand. Let's be like, "Hey man, that's messed up. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't live this way. You shouldn't perform certain activities to yourself. You shouldn't feed your body all this nonsense. You shouldn't sit and do nothing all the time. You shouldn't be afraid to take risks. You shouldn't be afraid to do something different. Like, we just want comfort all the time, but comfort is where your dreams go to die. I believe that. So, yeah, God forbid there comes a time where I'm comfortable. I don't want to be comfortable anymore. I've seen what discomfort does. I've seen how positive it can be. I've seen how it becomes the thing that pushes you to something better, the driving force to a better life. So be uncomfortable. Feel ashamed. Be ashamed of your behavior. I think it's good. It'll make you do better. But anyways, I wanted to share this with you. Watched a movie. My girlfriend and I, sometimes we watch movies. She's not a big fan of movies. Like, she doesn't believe it's a good use of time, which I agree with sometimes, but we don't watch movies often, so it's like, this was a cool opportunity. And so we watched it, and it's called The Pope's Exorcist. Russell Crowe is the main character there. He's the Pope's exorcist, and brilliant movie. I love everything about the movie, but it was scary. I don't often go for horror movies. Fear is not an emotion that I particularly enjoy. But I figured, because there was a scene that I saw of the movie that made me want to watch it. So I was like, okay, let's watch it. The advertising got me. That's all I can say. The advertising got me, but I don't regret watching that movie because it was a fantastic movie, dude. So anyways, watch this movie, and it's basically the story goes like this. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the story goes like this, that 90% of, or 98% of, what they call exorcisms is not just a, somebody who's mentally unwell, someone who has a particular mental disorder. They believe they're possessed by the devil, or those around them believe that they are possessed by a demon or whatever. And then they're like, okay, dude, then this guy comes in and he's there to make that determination. He's like, okay, now this person is just a bit crazy, but we're going to do something that's going to make them feel like they are no longer possessed. And then boom. And then they recommend that person to a psychiatrist or to a doctor or whatever. And then there's that 2%, they say. Now, what about the 2%? He said, well, the 2% is what I can only describe as evil. And I was like, whoa, that's so ominous, you know? And so, yeah, we continue watch the movie. The movie is basically there's this little boy who's in Spain with his mother and sister, mother and older sister. And basically this child gets possessed by a demon, apparently a very powerful demon and all that. And yeah, so basically that's what the movie's about. The guy eventually succeeds in exorcising this demon, even though he allows the demon to enter his own body, but he defeats the demon, him and this other priest, you know, which is awesome. It's really epic. Okay, I highly recommend you watch this movie because I just gave you a very bad version of the story. You know, the story is much better than what I managed to explain it to you. But at the end of the movie, they talk about this guy and the main character. I think his name is, I have to get his name right, Gabriele Amort. Gabriele Amort. And this is an Italian priest who was the Pope's chief exorcist from, I don't know which years he was active, but I think he died in 2016. And this guy has written books of his experiences, you know. And I was like, wait. So this is real? This is real, dude? Like, demons are real possession? I never thought about that, you know? And but one thing was cool is that one of the best defenses against a demon was just to say the name Jesus Christ, you know? It's like wow, to really talk about Jesus. So I think that's probably why it's important. That's why they say that there's so much power in the name of Jesus. Because the more you talk about Jesus, the further the demons are going to be from you, you know? I love that, dude. I love that. So, yeah, just be careful of people that don't talk about Jesus. Nah, don't do that. But nonetheless, I found that to be cool. And definitely, so I think my reading list for this year is kind of full. Actually, I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 books to read. There's also a book coming out in November, Jordan Peterson's new book, We Who Wrestle with God. I can't wait to read that book, man. It's coming out, I think, 11th of November or the 12th of November this year. Can't wait. So I'd like to get done with these 6 books before I get to that point. But anyway, so apparently Father Amort has written many books of his experiences doing exorcisms and stuff. So I'm curious about it, you know. I'm a curious guy, and that's why I like reading. So I really want to read, but I'll save it for next year's reading list. But about books. So last week, Friday, was my birthday, as you know. That was the last episode. It was my birthday episode. And so I had a wonderful birthday. I was spoiled rotten. I have so many wonderful gifts and snacks and all that. But the 2 coolest gifts I got was from my family. They bought a book and they bought a couple of other things, but the book is central to it. And it's a book of Epictetus. I can't wait. Selected Discourses and the Enchiridion. I can't wait because that is one of the main Stoics, you know, Epictetus. I can't wait. That's literally my next book. After I finish Beyond Good and Evil, I'm going to read Epictetus. And then after that, I also got another book, which is also on my reading list, my fiction reading list, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a classic. So I love classics, and I really wanna read that book, man. So I'm very excited, and I'm really happy that those closest to me. So that one I got from my girlfriend, and Epictetus I got from my family. So I think such a perfect gift to get me, man. A book, like, it's like, you guys know me, get me a book. I think that's the coolest gift you can give somebody, man, because there's so much value in one book. And then if you read like 20 books, 30 books, 40 books, you know, that's what it's all about, man. Jeez, think about how much value you're adding to your own brain and therefore into your own life just because you're reading books. It's incredible, you know. But anyways, so yeah, I'm really happy about that, and I, just full of appreciation. And thank you for all the birthday messages. Wow, I've received so many. I've received more birthday messages from people I don't know than from people I do know. You know, and I guess that's always the case, you know, because some people are just like, they receive that notification on Facebook. They're just like, oh, happy birthday, person. You don't know that person and they don't know me. But they want to say happy birthday. And I like that. I appreciate that. What else, man? What else has been happening? That's all I can really say, man. Like, it's been a fun week. Today's Wednesday. I film on Wednesdays and then I edit on Fridays and I upload it on Friday and then the post drops on Thursday and the post drops on Friday. So, excuse me. Oh my word. I don't know why I'm yawning. Maybe it's because I'm tired, but it's okay. I don't mind being tired. It's a part of life. You're gonna be tired. You're a human being. And but anyways, so Wednesdays has like become, I won't say my favorite day, but it's become this day where I feel this driving force, this energy, and I really do enjoy it because it's like from the moment I wake up, I am busy. From the moment I wake up, then go take my sister to school, come back, exercise, make breakfast, eat, shower, set up, film, lunch, fetch my sister, bring her home, take my brother to his trumpet classes, come home, go to work, come home, have supper, chill with family, sleep. That's Wednesday, and it's awesome. I think I like it because there's this flow of activities. As soon as I'm done with one thing, on to the next thing, The only thing that bothers me about Wednesdays is that I won't be able to practice on the piano. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer, really, because I think it's important to practice, and you need to practice every day, man. Even if you practice a little bit. But I'm gonna find the time. Like right now, after this, I need to make lunch for me and then eat and then go fetch my sister. I think I might have a few, like maybe half an hour later. Hopefully, just half an hour to just at least practice some skills, But yeah, what else is happening? The air is so full of dust and smoke, Like it's really warm. It's like summer warm, And it's August, so I guess we're approaching spring. I guess it's also a bit early, but the air is so dry and so dusty and so full of smoke, And it's affecting my nose for sure. That's why I sound like this, That's why. Actually, I sound like this most of the time because my nose most of the time is closed. But it's worse when the air is like this and you feel all sinusy and congested. You're like, my eyes are teary, So, oh my word. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. I'm not that tired. Maybe I'm bored. But I don't feel bored. Maybe I'm not breathing properly. They say when you brain fart. When you yawn, it's also because you're not breathing properly. So yeah, take those deep breaths. But I think it's also because of the nose thing, man. Oh, but anyways, yeah. So the air has been so crazy, I don't like talking about the weather because I think it's a lame topic. But the weather is kind of getting weird, and I think it's gonna get worse, dude. I think that I've never really been a proponent of the idea of climate change and how bad it's gonna be, and that we're destroying the earth. I don't think it's possible to destroy the earth, to be honest. I don't think that anything that happens on earth is irreparable. I think the earth does a pretty good job of repairing herself, and us as humans we're not as powerful as we think. I don't believe so, but I will say this: the environment is changing, the climate is changing, dude. I think we are partly responsible as people, as humans, but I also think that the environment has changed without us. Long before human beings walked this earth, the climate changed constantly, over long stretches of time, but it seems to be a process that's kind of independent of us, But nonetheless, it means that weather changes, the seasons change. Last winter is not going to be the same as this winter, Like in New York, for example, it hasn't snowed in like forever. And then in places where it has never snowed, it snows, So we're really seeing a very weird change in climate in our lifetime. So I find that interesting, man. Because what happens when we hit the ice age? Is that gonna happen? You know, there's so many things. I need to stop. I need to stop paying attention to like this catastrophe thing that happens in my head where AI might destroy humanity, or we might destroy ourselves with nuclear war, or an asteroid could hit, or something happens and it causes an ice age. Then an ice age happens, and then 80% of the earth is covered in ice, and we have to somehow survive that. And most people probably won't survive. I like to think I'd survive. Maybe I'm just being arrogant about that, but I like to think I would survive. Because I was not put on this earth to just perish. I have things to achieve. I believe that. I think to be successful, you partially need to be delusional. You need to believe that things are gonna work out for some reason. Whether things go wrong or not, that it's gonna work out for you, and that's interesting. And that's just how life works, man. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting hungry now. I'm starting to imagine, getting into the shower and steaks are falling on me. Just medium rare, or maybe medium steaks. Actually, I like medium. A steak, and ooh, so good, man. Ooh. But yeah, let me not get too deep into that. I'm not even gonna have a steak now. I'm gonna make a sandwich, probably peanut butter and jam, and I like it. I like PB&J. Oh, with maybe a cup of coffee or some tea, or maybe some juice. Nah, not juice. I'm not less for juice. I want coffee. I like coffee. I'm a fan of coffee, man. And I'd like to learn to make cold brew coffee. That'd be cool. Like, cause in summer you lust coffee. I'm trying to find the English word for lust. I'm an English speaker, but somehow that word eludes me. And it's funny, I can say the word elude, but I can't say the English word for lust. I guess craving. I crave coffee a lot. So, but when it's summer and you crave coffee, you want a cup of coffee, you have it, and now you're sweating. Like a I don't know, like a preacher. And then you what was I talking about? I just got distracted by the thought of a preacher sweating in church. What was I saying? Oh, about coffee. Yeah, so I want to learn to make cold brew coffee, so that when I do have a lust for coffee, just make cold brew. Oh, nice and refreshing, and you still have coffee. Excellent. But anyways, I think that's probably going to be the end of the show here. Thank you for watching and for listening. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, share the show, talk about it. The clips that I post on various social media sites, go ahead and follow those and share them with people if you think they would like it. Every little bit helps. Let's build this community. Let's build this channel to where I think it needs to be. And that depends on you. So, but thank you for all your support so far. And if you've watched till the end, man, you are an absolute legend. So thank you for that. And I hope you have a good one. And be good to yourself, be good to others. And go read the Book of Mormon. Adios.